We are live, straight politicking on all you mofos. I'm Alex Alonso at Alex Alonso 101 on Twitter, Facebook, and also have a personal YouTube channel, Alex Alonso 101. And we are broadcasting from StreetTV. And if you're listening to this platform and you want to watch it, visit the StreetTV platform on YouTube. And if you're watching this and you just want to listen to it, we're on Apple, Spotify, and wherever you get your podcasts. I'm here with my co-host from Inglewood, always up to no good. The city of champions, La Ciudad de Campeones, Munchie B, the mayor, is in the house.
Yes, Sarsky.
What's going on, Munch? I see. Hey, I did drop a link to your content that you did, as I stated we would that I would do in the last episode, and that story is just taking a life of its own. Everybody's talking about it. Everybody's seems to realize that the video is not fake. It is not AI, and I'm talking about Cashless Jones on a selfie video that somehow got dropped on Twitter.
Yeah. Supposedly, Miss Parker Twitter account posted the video. I guess the alleged transgender said that he ran off on a bill. He didn't pay, so now she about to play type stuff. But it's up in the air, buddy. Either way is weird because it's broad daylight and you masturbate in the car. You know what I'm saying? So either way is strange.
Oh man, that is kind of
So
weird.
I don't understand that. But he did come from truck driving, so he used to pulling over and just.
Oh yeah, truck driving. There's a lot of shady stuff that happens at them truck stops.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So he familiar with the process.
Yeah, all that outdoor activity at them truck stops.
Mm-hmm. Messing with them lizard lots.
All them 304s that just be sitting there with their guts hanging all over their belts. I ain't never seen no fine 304 at a truck stop.
That dude, he in the algorithm right now. He liked the attention, so I guess enjoy it.
No, I don't believe he likes this type of attention.
Not this type.
No, because if he liked this type of attention, he wouldn't strike our channels. He wouldn't complain. He wouldn't do these extra things that he does quietly behind the scenes. But sometimes he's actually been vocal that he did that.
So he love to do the exposing, but he don't want to get exposed.
Nah. I remember when I dropped the video about him and the no jumper beating, and I showed the Burbank police report unredacted because that's the way it was presented to us, unredacted. Mm-hmm. And he hit me with a strike for a privacy violation because his address and his personal information was on that police report.
Oh yeah, you was slipping, man.
Yeah, all I did was I redid it and reposted it, and it's up there right now. That was a great video, and tap in with that. In fact, I'll put a link to that video down in the show notes in the description below. But no, I don't believe that he enjoys the attention that you give him, that I give him, and that at least about 3 or 4 other content creators give him.
But I said on countless occasions, if he don't bring me up, I don't gotta bring him up.
Yeah, it's too late for all that.
But to this day, if he stopped talking about me, I could stop. But every time I open up the YouTube app, he on Clubhouse and they talking about me. So hey, as long as you go, I could go.
Hey, he likes to call me the DA. Every time he calls me a DA, I'm gonna drop some content on him. That's as simple as that. I don't think he can stop. I don't think he can control himself.
I don't think S-Born from 60s will agree that you a DA. No. I don't think Poppy Rest in Peace from Kitchen Crip will agree that you a DA. I don't think Baby Red from BPS will agree that you're a DA.
No.
I don't think TC from Avalon will agree that you're a DA.
Got to throw in Slim Bad, the guy that did the interview that he ruined his own case.
Slim Bad was under the influence and had a conversation with Wack and blew it, and now he can't get your assistance. So, he talked that he's a compulsive liar. The only thing, he neck and neck with Loose Cannon with the Lion. The only difference is one got a speech problem and one don't.
No, Tremaine Williams' fake cannons lies are more outlandish that I produced 50 Cent.
He not far behind.
Yeah, he ain't far behind, but
He not far. This what this man do. This what Wack do. He texts himself from his other phone and manufacture conversations and switch the name in the other phone, acting like he talking to that person.
yeah, he puts fake contacts in the phone.
Right.
Under a high profile name. Look, I'm texting with Obama right now.
Oh, he just sent me the contract. Look at the contract. That's a standard contract from 4 years ago. You just switch something. Like, he play games, man. He not that far behind Loose Cannon, man. Loose Cannon, he just, well, I don't know.
Loose Cannon's lies are just utterly unbelievable. Like, if you're just an outsider listening to him, you will know right off the bat he's lying.
In the beginning, it ain't gonna seem like a lie because you will think, who would lie that big? You know what I mean? You wouldn't just, ain't nobody's walking down the street and saying they produce for Nas. You know what I mean?
No, but Wack tries to tell stories that's woven with lies and present them as facts, and he does it in a way that no one challenges him most of the time. Adam gives him a little bit of pushback on some of the lies, but for the most part, he's sitting in there on the 100 side with a whole bunch of minions that are deriding him, and they never give him any pushback.
Well, he was just on the Adam and Wack show and said, the person that shot me is alive. He spoke to him on the phone. So, and I highly doubt that. If he is alive, if he ain't alive, right, I'm pretty sure he know you the police. Why would he let you know something like that? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's...
So, I don't know. That man just be talking out the side of his neck, man.
Yeah, and hey, I don't have nothing against DAs and prosecutors. That's a job that, that needs to be filled, and it's a part of our country. But I'm not a DA. I don't work for the DA. I do not work for the DA side. But I've shaken the hands of quite a few DAs. In fact, John McKinney, the guy who prosecuted Eric Holder, I got to know him very well.
Because y'all work in the same, arena.
Building. Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
See him in the same building all the time.
Right.
I can tell you this. I sat down at a bar and had drinks with John McKinney one time with a group of other people. And also your favorite content creator was there too. Cinnamills was there.
Okay.
Yeah, me, Cinnamills, John McKinney, and a couple other people were sitting at a bar enjoying, a drink. So, no.
Well, I'll say that's a good relationship to have.
No,
you know what I mean, I don't. At this point in my life, I despise DAs, but if I was to be working in that realm where we could brush shoulders, it'd be a good relationship to have.
Now, there are some DAs that are over the top. I remember I had a DA subpoena my college grades ahead of time. Of course, he did this. And when I got up there to give my opinion on the gang case, he came out of left field with my grades from USC, and it backfired because it was basically all A's and B's. It was all A's and B's. I didn't even understand what was his point, So
it could have been a good strategy if you would have had some like barely passing grades.
No, what it was that he thought was a barely passing grade is in a graduate course I received 0 credits. So there was a bunch of 0 credits earned on this particular graduate course, and what he didn't know was that course is worth 0 credits. You don't get any credits for that course. So I was taking this course to write some documents that I had to write up, but you don't earn credits for it, but you have to be registered. So it was like, he was like, hey, didn't you earn 0 credits for this class? I'm like, it's a 0 credit class. Didn't you earn 0 credits for this class? Yeah, it's a 0 credit class. So his whole strategy backfired. And what was crazy is he had my GPA covered when he was showing it to the jury. So the defense attorney, he had one question. He lowered the transcript so that you can see the very top. He said, Mr. Alonso, what's your GPA when you was at USC? 3.5. That's the only question I have. Thank you.
Hey, well, if your GPA was where it was at, he should have made sense of it based on it was 0 credit, and it wouldn't have been a 3.5.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
I was so pissed because I went up to USC after that, and I said, why in the hell? Because your grades are supposed to be private. Why?
Is it?
Yeah, your grades are private. The only way they don't become private is if you're under a criminal investigation and it's up for subpoena. So the DA's office.
Well, you was a part
I was a part of a trial, but the way USC thought, I was under investigation. I was an expert in a trial that was a criminal case. So some people told me, you could sue USC for that. They were not supposed to turn over your grades to that DA. And then also the DA was supposed to say, Mr. Alonso is an expert witness for the defense. He's not a part of the crime. Then they would have told him, no, we're not going to send you his grades. So it was a big mess. I ended up not suing because I have a relationship with the university that I don't want to mess up. How I look, I'm walking around the campus dealing with the administration that has nothing to do with my grades. But at the same time, I'm suing the institution. So I left it alone.
So as far as officers, I wonder how long you have to patrol these streets to become a gang expert, because I've been in court proceedings and going through preliminaries, and the gang expert come to court on my case, and it's just the police that we see almost every other week, and he claims he's a gang expert.
Well, I could tell you how many hours of a class that they do that pretty much allows them to say it in court. It's only a 40-hour class. So after 40 hours, they can say, I'm an expert.
So I wonder having that under their belt, do that boost their pay?
No, their pay is based on their ranking. Yeah, so
why even be a gang expert?
It's somebody's got to do it, so they assign certain officers to it. If you noticed, well, I guess it's a little different in Inglewood, but in LA, most of the gang officers only do it for a certain amount of time, maybe 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, and then they're gone. There are some in the
gang experts or gang task.
Well, they're the same thing, because the gang officers, we'll call them crash, even though that's not the word anymore. But
G-Unit crash.
The crash officers have to come to court and testify as experts. And in the 80s and 90s, the crash officers had long careers because they liked it. But now they don't do it ever since the Rampart scandal, because all the police officers that were found to have done crooked shit were gang cops. So now they want to make sure gang cops don't stay in the same place, in the same area for too long, because they believe that breeds corruption.
Yeah, because at some point you become a part of that community.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Patrolling it long enough, you become a part of the community. You'll have a nickname, just like everybody else around here.
Yes. So after the Rampart scandal in the early 2000s, they got rid of crash. I mean, they didn't get rid of it. They just changed the name. It's GED now, Gang Enforcement Detail. And they only can be in a particular area for so long. And then you got to move on. So.
Hey, but guess what I used to notice? I mean, we didn't see gang unit at nighttime. We didn't see Crown Vics and stuff at nighttime. So I used to wait till like nightfall and really come outside. You know what I'm saying? Like that's what I caught on to. Like I don't never see no Crown Vics or nothing at night.
Well, there were certain days in LA, Tuesdays and Thursdays, where the gang cops used to be heavy, and they would sometimes be in a cruiser 3 deep and 4 deep.
Mm-hmm. You know? The hop out boy.
Yeah. So you knew it was. And then also the gang cars, and I believe it's still like that for LA today, they don't have lights on the top. They're black and white cruisers, but they don't have the lights that go across the top. That's how you know, oh, those are gang cops.
Yeah, I guess you're right, because all of them ain't Crown Vics. So they will be missing the lights at the top.
Yeah. So, yeah.
Man, I done ran from so many taxis in my life, looking from a distance. And you know what I'm saying? And thinking it's the police, but it's the little taxi thing at top.
Yeah.
But then I started learning, you look for them little yellow lights in the inside of their headlights, because the little yellow lights be on, but the headlights be off. You know, so I spot them from a block away. Pew! Everything. Thank God that's behind me.
Yeah, man. I've been dealing with gang cops for the last 25 years as a consultant, as a legal consultant, actually the last 26 years. And I've got to know quite a few of them. In fact, some of the prosecutors that I got to know, they're not prosecutors anymore. They left and went to private practice. And when they have lawsuits that have something to do with gangs, they'll call me up. I remember I had this one former prosecutor call me up and say, hey, Alex, I got a civil case. It's some gang issues. And I don't know if you'll remember me, but I was a prosecutor some years ago, and I cross-examined you. And I remember that you were real good. So I want to know if you can help me with this civil case. So I jumped on this civil case. But that was an interesting call to get from a former prosecutor.
Okay. When I go to support people that's, going through a trial or whatever, anytime it's been a gang expert up there that was a police officer, I never heard one that was up there completely honest.
Yeah, man.
Never.
That's a fact. In court, though, you got to be careful calling a cop a liar. But I've been on the stand testifying for the defense, explaining in a very scientific, socially scientific way that what that officer just said to you guys, boys and girls from the jury, was not true. You know,
was incorrect.
yeah, you gotta, you gotta say it in a careful way. You don't want to offend the court. You don't want to offend the judge, but you want to say, hey, in my experience, in my many years of experience and training and education, that is an incorrect statement. You know, but yeah, basically, he's a liar.
Right.
You do want to be careful about that. But there's sometimes, I remember a couple times, if you get an aggressive prosecutor that's like, so you're saying that this officer is lying in front of the court? Yeah, that's exactly what I'm saying, Mr. Prosecutor. Since you want to introduce the word liar, yes, that's exactly what we're saying. You know, but I will not go there unless they go there first with that word. I very rarely use the word liar in court.
Yeah, you could be like, no, I'm not saying I just
Yeah.
he got it wrong.
Because he could be mistaken. Well, we know by the tone and by the body language and the demeanor, you've been doing this job a long time. So you're not mistaken. But to a juror, maybe he is mistaken. Maybe he did get it wrong.
Yeah, they be real assertive.
Yeah.
Matter of factly type tones. Yeah.
So, yeah, man. So what we got here on the agenda, man? We don't got much, man. I did want to mention the MacArthur Park arrests that just happened, and which is interesting is that they just got indicted earlier in 2026, the same 18th Street gang.
Right.
We talked about it.
Right. And 2 months later, almost, right? Was it 2 months later?
Something like that. Something like 2 months.
No, they raided MacArthur Park. Took about 14 to 17 people to jail. Some smokers, I believe, or all.
Yeah, most of the guys that were taken into custody appear to be users, Munchie. These aren't like your typical drug arrests where people are getting caught with ounces or pounds like that. They were just caught with small amounts.
A little personal.
Yeah, so this case that just came out, this is a brand new case, May 2026, and they arrested, how many people they arrested? Not a whole lot, but I got, here we go. I got all the names of the people they arrested. So, defendant number one, Jaramillo. These were all buys. These were all, I guess, on camera. They did these on camera buys. So the police are watching you, and they got you all on video, and you're buying from undercovers within the MacArthur Park area. That's how this was set up. So Jaramillo bought $20 worth of methamphetamine, 1.74 grams, 100% purity, it says here. Defendant Herrera bought $30 worth of 0.382 grams of a mixture containing fentanyl. I said 0.3. This is not even. This is less than half a gram. So that was $30 worth. He got indicted. Garcia Gomez, he spent $40 and he bought 0.752 net grams of a mixture containing fentanyl. And then it also tells you who was the undercover. And they don't give you the name, but they'll say CS. This CS2 was the one on that one. So CS2, CS3, CS1, CS4. It looks like CS, and then UC1. So 5 people.
How much you bought that 7.5 for?
Let me see. Let's go back to the top. That was 0.75.
Oh.
0.75 for $40. Garcia Gomez did 2 purchases. Damn, he came back the next day, did another purchase for the same for 0.728. So let me see. Everything is under a gram. 0.69, 0.37. Okay, here's one. 4.1 grams. A guy named Thigpen spent $40. Oh, okay. That's a lot. 4 grams for $40. He spent $40 and got 4 grams of pure methamphetamine with 98% purity, it says here. But then Flores Castro, he spent $40 on 0.695 grams of a mixture containing fentanyl. And it just continues like this. It looks like there's a couple dozen people on this list. And all of the purchases are under a gram except for 2 people. It says here one guy right here bought 400 grams. He's the only one in that amount. 400 grams.
Is that the one that went down with his girlfriend?
That I don't know.
Can't tell, huh?
No, I just got a list of names. Barreto Rios bought 1.6 grams of pure methamphetamine for $20. $20. So these were all buys that they surveilled, and then they arrested them, I guess, days later.
Free them, man. They just went to jail for having an addiction, man. That's messed up. They need help. That's all.
Yeah, that's what it is. And they got a whole section here on MacArthur Park. It says MacArthur Park is located in L.A. and is operated by the L.A. Department of Recs and Parks. It is
that is, I ain't gonna say hilarious, but that's crazy hearing Recs and Parks.
Recreation and Parks, the Department of Recs and Parks. Why is that so hilarious?
When you think of recreation and parks, like, you don't think of MacArthur Park. You know what I mean?
Well, that's the name of the department for the city of LA that controls all the parks.
Well, they need to do better. Parks and Recs need to do better from MacArthur Park.
Actually, I think it sounds better. Most cities is called Parks and Recs, but here they wrote Recs and Parks.
Yeah.
But MacArthur is in a sector of the city characterized by high rates of poverty and homelessness. Many of the homeless in the area are drug users. MacArthur Park is a known location to purchase user quantities of drugs, including methamphetamine and fentanyl. So I guess we're at a point today where people are actually just outright buying fentanyl.
Yeah, it's been like that for a little minute now.
Yeah, before fentanyl was included in a drug that you was buying, whether you was buying a codeine pill, methamphetamine, but now just people are outright buying it.
Right.
Which is crazy. Because we're getting more ODs, obviously, because of the fentanyl.
Right.
Wilshire Boulevard bisects the park from east to west. 6th Street runs from the southeast to the northwest, and 7th Street runs from southeast to the northwest, serving as the southern border of the park. So they give us a breakdown of the park and the history, and then it goes into, it even mentions the gangs that surround the park. 18th Street, Crazy Riders, MS-13. They got a little map here in this complaint.
They say Rockwood?
Rockwood is actually just about a block or 2 away.
What about Whitmer?
Whitmer is also, Whitmer would be a little bit to the east of the park, and Rockwood would be a little bit to the north of the park. I think Rockwood is closer to 2nd Street, 2nd and 3rd Street.
So really surrounding the park is really just Crazy Riders, MS, and 18th Street. So I think Whitmer, Temple, and Rockwood is kind of like a little further.
Yeah. I do believe there is one more gang that touches the park.
Is it Diamond?
No, not Diamond. I just can't remember. But they got the main ones here on this map. They make it seem like they have a map here dividing the park into sections and then putting the gang name in those sections.
I think they do kind of divide it though, right? Like a pie.
Yeah, I guess so. But
Yeah.
I think 18th Street is really dominant in this because, one, they got the Mexican Mafia guy that controls the park. He grew up right there. Francisco Puppet Martinez grew up right there. And he's the only guy in the Mexican Mafia with ties to MacArthur Park. And so that's why they raided his house many years ago. I think I told you this before. They found $500,000 just laying around his house, which is crazy. You in a penitentiary doing time, and you got $500,000 in your wife's apartment.
Right.
And that's all from MacArthur Park. That's all that $40, $20, $40. Although that sounds like a little bit of money, if you sitting there, you getting that all day, every day. Like you getting that every hour.
MacArthur Park is most definitely a gold mine.
Yeah. Well, if you're a seller, for sure.
Right.
Then they got pictures here. Like, this is to let everybody know, when you go to MacArthur Park, the police are taking pictures of you. I'm scrolling through this federal complaint, and they're showing pictures of people doing hand-to-hand transactions along Alvarado. And it's so obvious that it's an open drug traffic market. And it don't seem like the people that are selling drugs have any fear of the police. But I guess the LAPD wants to do something about it. So that's why they did what they did. And your boy from No Jumper was up there during one of these raids.
Yeah, man. Shout out my boy Les, the MacArthur Park mayor, man. He was up there unhappy with the raid. It was rumors that he got locked up, but he didn't get locked up, I guess. he just fell off the radar for a couple of days.
And all of these drug transactions took place from March up until whenever they did the raid in May. So they break down every transaction, every purchase on the date.
If it's from March to May, they should have way more arrests than that.
Yeah, they could have, but it depends on how many days. They're not out there every single day watching these people. They get enough. It's funny, this one guy's on here for doing 2 transactions in back-to-back days. Yeah, man. MacArthur Park, I don't think you can change MacArthur Park by doing a bunch of arrests. You got to change the culture of the community. It's a place of a lot of poor folks who are desperate in life, and they turn to drugs and they become addicts. And how do you change the face of a community like that? And the gang is just taking advantage of it. The gang that happens to be there is taking advantage of it. If IFG was in MacArthur Park, IFG would be taking advantage of it. If Harpies was in MacArthur Park, they'd be taking advantage of it. It's not a gang problem. 18th Street didn't create this problem, which they want to attach to 18th Street now. It is a wider community problem.
Right.
And it's not going to get solved by arresting a bunch of users. It's not even going to get solved by indicting this gang. This gang has been indicted at least 3 times already over the last 10 years.
18?
Yeah, this specific 18th Street, the Columbia Little Psychos. They've been indicted multiple times. And here we are in 2026. You can just pull up over there. You'd be like, damn, this place is crazy. So, you got low-income housings. You got
The Walking Dead, man.
Also, they converted a lot of those old hotels along Wilshire Boulevard that cuts right through this neighborhood into apartments. And if you go into these old hotels, these are like some of the slummiest apartments the city has. So I know the solution probably what most people are going to say is gentrification. Let's gut all these apartment buildings, make them into $2,000 a month apartments, and then you'll get rid of all the poor folks for sure.
Yeah, we'll see how that works.
But then you got this big ass park where the homeless people go to. And I know what they did in Leimert Park, which I hated. They did this in Leimert Park. They built a gate all the way around Leimert Park with doors that open up and close. The city comes, unlocks it, opens it up for the day. Then they lock it up at during maybe when the sun is setting.
And what that was to stop the homeless?
Yeah, to stop the homeless people. And then the homeless people in Leimert Park were doing the same thing that they were doing in MacArthur. It's just a smaller park, of course. Leimert Park is tiny compared to the size of MacArthur. It's the same problem. You got a whole bunch of homeless people that are addicted. They're living in their tents and they're getting high. So what did the city of LA do in Leimert Park? They put a gate around it to keep them from coming out. But the homeless people just posted up outside the gate on the sidewalk. So, having a gate around a park is the ugliest thing. It's the ugliest thing.
Gate came down eventually, right?
No, the gate is still there. The gate ain't coming down. New York City started putting gates around parks years ago. LA never had a gate around a park until more modern time. So I wouldn't be surprised one day MacArthur Park got a big ass gate around it. They lock it in and unlock it during the open hours.
I don't know if I want that for MacArthur Park, man. They comfortable where they at. I mean, it ain't good to be using drugs like it's just legal and then, self-afflicting, but
Imagine if they put a gate around Darby Park.
a gate around Darby Park.
Locked it at night. Locked it at 7 p.m. every night. Nobody can come in.
That wouldn't work. We got a little small thing to go up and down, but I get the comparison though.
Well, Leimert Park is not even, and what's crazy? Leimert Park has never been known as a gang park so much, like where gang crime happens, and they put a fence around it because of the homeless.
Well, we know what gang is occupied over there, but it do seem as if between Stocker and Vernon is almost like a what you want to call like a free zone, because it'd be a mixture of different collectives right there, if you ever noticed that. But I never got comfortable to just want to stand out right there because it seemed like them same rules never really apply for me though. But seemed like everybody got along in between there, like right there.
Yeah, it's a unique little area where you see a little bit of everybody coming in and out. Not so much hanging out. They closed the 7-Eleven, surprisingly. That was an area where people usually converged at.
I think the 7-Eleven caused people to hang out.
Yeah.
So yeah.
The 7-Eleven made it worse, actually, I think. Because that was always a sort of hanging out area.
7-Eleven, they don't close.
Before the 7-Eleven was there, it was still a spot. In fact, I don't know if you remember this. Years ago,
Blockbuster?
there was an Arco gas station.
Was the Blockbuster right there?
The Blockbuster was there too. The Blockbuster was where the 7-Eleven was at, but a block away was an Arco gas station that they just put a little strip mall now there on the corner, right on the corner of Vernon and Crenshaw, was a AM/PM gas station, and that gas station, man, it used to be popping in that gas station. You never knew what was going to happen there. But yeah, they tore that down, put a strip mall there, and then but when the 7-Eleven came, it brought the same problems that the gas station used to bring. Yeah, I got some old video footage of hanging out at the gas station back in the 90s.
Hey, Alex, you got a lot of old video footage. You got a lot of old photos. You got a lot of old everything.
Yeah, I was just looking at my footage of I saw these girls at the gas station with pit bulls right there on Vernon and Crenshaw.
Where they was from? Or just some regular chicks?
Some regular chicks that had some pit bulls at the. I said AM/PM. I think it was an Arco. I think it was an Arco. Wait, is Arco and AM/PM the same thing? Okay. No, you could have an Arco station, but then the store you go into is an AM/PM.
I don't know about that.
Okay, I have to go check the old pictures, but
I know this much: the same way rappers just be having songs just sitting on hard drives and computers and not putting it out. Alex sitting on a lot of stuff, bro.
Yeah, that is true.
And you need to put it out.
Hey, I just dropped that Monster Kody 19-minute phone call.
Okay, long live Monster.
From 2019.
Long live Monster. And to the two dudes that's content creators that disrespected Monster Kody, one a Crip and one a Pyro. I don't care what drug he used closer to his demise. He go down in the books as one of the most notable Crips. If it was a Mount Rushmore for Crips, I think he should be up there. You can't take away history. You know what I'm saying?
I agree. I put him up there as one of the most influential Crips in Los Angeles history.
He was very intelligent, charismatic, and I've been told that the stuff in this book was true, and only one thing could really be debated.
I know the arm situation.
Right. So, like, I mean, you gotta give him his flowers, man. You know what I mean?
You know what's crazy is I interviewed a lady that confirmed the arm story, but then it turned out she was off. She was off regarding a guy named Jay Blade. I think it was Jay Blade. And I was like, when I did the interview, I'm like, wow, maybe the story is true. But then I got a bunch of calls after the interview dropped. I got a bunch of calls telling me, nah, she crazy.
That community was mad at her for saying that.
Yeah, they was.
But Monster said, well, it happened, but it might have not been a 60, but it happened. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Something happened along those lines. We just don't know exactly what happened.
No, people got to give credit where it's due, man.
No, I put Monster Kody on that top 10 list of most influential Crips, if there is a list. I don't think anybody's ever come out with a top 10 influential Crip list, but if they did, I'm almost certain that there's no one that would keep Monster Kody's name off that list.
Hey, look, man, this Street TV, so we gonna keep it all the way real, bro. We gonna keep it Street TV and not internet. They say outlandish things like Crip Mack, right? And he's an entertainer and he's a funny guy, but that's disrespectful to Crips that, you know what I'm saying, really put their best foot forward and push the Crip thing forward, you know what I mean? But that's just me keeping it Street TV and not internet, you know what I mean?
For sure. Let's say you were going to put another person on that list along with Monster Kody. Any generation, it doesn't matter age. Who else would you put? Yeah.
I would have to put Monster Kody. I would have to put Tookie by default. I would have to put Raymond Washington, and I'll put Mack Thomas.
Oh yeah. If you're going with the OGs, Mack Thomas, I agree with the Mack Thomas. I agree with the Raymond. I agree with the Tookie. But if I'm putting Tookie is gonna go a little further down the list because there's a lot of hype.
Yeah, I didn't put it in no particular
Yeah,
order.
no particular order, but there's a lot of hype behind Tookie's name.
Yeah, and I agree. And then you know what I'm saying, if my father was he like Tookie, he wouldn't agree with me, but
Yeah,
he would agree to Monster and Raymond for sure.
yeah, you got to put Raymond on there and Mack Thomas too. And
Yeah,
if you put Mack Thomas on the list, you got to put Arthur Day, who was his right hand man.
my Rushmore is 4.
I know. I'm thinking more of a top 10 list.
Okay,
Yeah,
top 10.
yeah. Oh, so if it's just down to 4, ooh, that's tough.
That's the 4 I said.
Yeah. Okay. So you got Kody, Mack Thomas, Monster Kody, and Tookie. Oh, wow. You know what? If I'm gonna do my 4, if I gotta do 4, if we're only limited to 4, I'm taking Tookie off and I'm replacing him with Donald Archie.
I see why you say that.
Yeah.
Cause you keeping it street TV. You're not going by the face value thing.
Nah, because he Tookie was definitely the face. He was the
Right.
body. He was the muscle.
Right.
But when you do your research and you look at who was out there in the streets really doing their thing, Donald Archie name always come up way more than Tookie name.
You know, Jamel catch up to you. He go get on you for this list,
Oh
man.
man, Jamel.
He go get on you, man. He ain't one of them 4.
I don't think Jamel would make anybody's list at this point.
Yeah,
He went off the radar. But yeah, you can't replace Raymond. You can't replace Matt. Well, Mack Thomas was also a face, and what it was, all these guys with muscle, they get the name. Mack Thomas was another swole dude, you know. So I think that also helped with his name. He was a swole dude, but his his right hand man Arthur Day, Big Honcho, his name comes up more than Mack Thomas's name.
Because Mack Thomas was strictly Compton and Honcho got he got the double affiliation with Watts and Compton.
No, they both do. They both were from Watts, and then they both moved to Compton. That's why they're so tight. They Mack Thomas actually lived on a street that became Circle City Piru in Watts. I think it was 109th, and
they're 108th, 109th.
And then Arthur Day, I forget what street he lived on. So they kind of both moved to Compton around the same time. And then Arthur Day's little brother is one of the founders of not Grape Street Crip.
Baby Lope.
No, way before that.
Jordan Down Crips,
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And then it became Grape Street, and then the Baby Lokes came out in '87, I believe. But so the Day family, they're very influential. So that's a tough one between head honcho, which is Arthur Day, and Mack Thomas. Ooh,
it'd be easier to go 10, but who wants to make it easy? or you could just like, all right, 5, go 5. But 10, that's too long of a list.
Yeah. But yeah, you definitely Raymond Washington, no doubt. Some people might, if you're only doing 4, some people might say, Monster Kody, he's too young to be on this Mount Rushmore.
He was cripping with them dudes at a young age.
He was, man.
He was doing drugs, hanging out, and putting the waste together for with some the Tookie and the back of the classic cars riding in the back seat while you know what I'm saying the older Crips was Tookie, he there, he was around.
You talking about Monster Kody? He was around.
That's what I'm talking about. Yeah, Monster Kody, like you know what I'm saying, he was with the older Crips.
Yeah, he was.
And he was very young. You know what I'm saying? So like, but I know the Crips that'll give you some pushback, but it is what it is.
Yeah, he was smoking sherm sticks with Tookie when he was 12 years old.
But the hardest thing to do is to do it for the Bloods, and it's very difficult.
Ooh, that is difficult.
It's way easier to do it for Chris, but it's hard to do it for the Bloods, bro. Because
how about this? One person from Compton, one person from the East Side, one person from the West Side, and then you get to pick your 4th. If you that kind of makes it a little bit easier. You pick one from Compton, that would be a Piru. Pick a Piru from Compton. I'm sure most people are gonna go with either Pudding or Tam from the West Side, or they're gonna go with a bartender from the East Side, right? So
no, that's Bompton though. Yeah. So you saying Compton, East Side, West Side.
Yeah, you get your 3 from there. Or do you want to separate Watts? You want to say 1 from Compton, 1 from Watts, then the East Side, and then the West Side?
Yeah, Watts, yeah, so it could be 4.
Yeah, so that'll make it a little bit easier, you know. But it's still hard.
Yeah, that is hard. Cause that's hard. No, that's very hard.
Yeah.
I don't know why the Crips is so easy but it's hard with you know what I'm saying?
Hey, the Crips have always gotten more media attention. You know, these people were always in the newspaper.
Man, that was on magazines, flexing,
Yeah.
and going on sitcoms and shows back then.
Hey, yeah, Tookie was on the Gong Show.
They in music videos of Michael Jackson.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Crips got shine. I mean, the Bloods was in color too, but the Crips was in color. Like,
I'm gonna put one guy on the list, not because of any violence or any work or any dirt he done.
I say T. Rodgers.
Man, you beat me to it.
I know you about to say that.
You beat me. You didn't let me finish, man. I'll put T. Rodgers because of the influence and the notoriety that he got over his lifetime. You know, so I'd put T. Rodgers on there. But everyone knows that T. Rodgers is from a generation where it wasn't really like shoot 'em up, bang, bang, you know?
Yeah, I don't think T. Rodgers would be on my list.
You're looking for more like the guys that really laid down the foundation and pushed hard against the Crips.
Yeah, you got founders and you got people that established. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
People that, you know what I mean? But that's hard.
But here's the thing. In the very early 70s, the pushback didn't really start against the Crips until you get to like 73, 74, 75. Then the gunplay starts to come in around 78, 79, 80. So you're looking more towards those guys who laid the foundation and put the pushback against the Crips. You know, where you could just look at some of the founders. Like a lot of people in Watts would say Bobby Lavender from Bishop. You know,
man,
he's from a different generation.
Let me tell you something, man.
Yeah,
this is my issue with Bobby Lavender. He say he's not a blood.
You talking about the brother that speaks today?
Right.
Okay, I'm talking about the one that's deceased.
Okay, that's Bobby, and he's something else with a B.
He's the younger brother. He's the younger Lavender.
Right. All right.
The older Lavender, Bobby Lavender, was dealing with the Crips. He took an L. They lost somebody from the Crips in 72.
Okay, I'm talking about Bobby Lavender, brother.
Yeah,
the one that's still living and do the speaking. He say he's a bishop and he's not a blood, right? I'm like, okay, well, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I know who you're talking about. I forget his first name.
His name started with a B also though.
Yeah, but I think the older brother, the older Lavender, was anti-Crip. You know, they might not have had the B on it yet, but they was definitely anti-Crip. And they talks about a guy named Skip getting killed in his neighborhood on Bandera.
I heard about that story.
By the Crips. So, you know, he's one of the first ones to have to fight against the Crips, you know, 1972. So I would put Bobby Lavender. I'm putting guys like Bobby Lavender, T. Rodgers.
I could agree to Bobby Lavender. But
when it comes down to just laying stuff down, that's a different list.
Hey, but you know what?
Yeah.
The Bloods can't do 4.
I know.
It's like the Crips could do that. The Bloods can't do 4.
It's hard.
Yeah.
It's hard.
We have to go the whole 10.
I know another guy on the West Side that his name comes up when it comes for actually pushing hard against the Crips, and that's Santa Claus. You know.
See, it's a lot of household names.
And Santa Claus is from Monster Kody's generation. I believe Santa Claus was born in the same year as Monster Kody.
Legendary and yes, man.
In fact, I think that Monster Kody mentioned Santa Claus in his book. I believe so. I could be mistaken, but I believe he might mention them in the book.
Yeah, man. If you ever been to juvenile hall in camp, you never read Monster Kody book.
Yeah,
for sure.
But that's a tough list to do, man.
We got to put we got to.
And I don't like these type of lists because some people might criticize this type of list because we are rewarding violence, and I'd hate to ever do that. I'm not trying to reward violence.
Well, you not rewarding violence because one of your picks was somebody that didn't really participate in the violence.
That's what I'm saying.
So
And even Bobby Lavender, his generation wasn't bang bang shoot 'em up either.
So you basically going off impact.
Yeah, impact and influence.
Mm-hmm.
But I do understand that there was a war on these streets of Los Angeles, and there was a smaller group of brothers that did not want to participate in Crippin. And
Right.
some of these brothers had to fight against not wanting to participate.
Right.
And that ended up leading to violence. And there are some people's names that ring louder because they pushed harder against the Crips than other people did.
Yeah, and we it's on your channel. It's deep down there a couple years ago, and it's titled like because I felt Crips was bullies. You know what I mean? And they got this thing where they say Crips was made to protect the community, and I disagree.
Yeah.
And I think that's more so. That's how the Bloods and the Parus was because they didn't want to. You know, I mean, it's said in not Monster. It was said in Tucky Book or in by other OG Crips. They go to different hoods and Crip or no. So that means it's Crip or we go smash you. You know what I'm saying? So you went up to schools recruiting and you entering people's hoods and installing fear and recruiting using fear and all that. You know what I'm saying? That ain't protecting. You know what I mean? But you know. But kids don't subscribe to the streets. Subscribe to Street TV, not to the streets.
For sure.
Believe it.
All right, man. And that's a great segue into this story about the 4 guys who were convicted for shooting and killing Julio Foolio. And these were all youngsters. The one guy that I'm going to talk about named Gathright, he was 18 years old when this happened. And
How old is he now?
20. And
Oh, it's only been 2 years?
yeah. And this guy was born the same year as my baby boy was born. And I just can't imagine my sons getting caught up because I look at my sons as being so young. And when I heard this guy say his birthday, I was like, damn, he was born the same year as my baby boy was born.
Right. My daughter about to be 20 this year.
So, yeah, just like Munchie just said, do not subscribe to the streets.
Subscribe right here.
This is a whole different era. You're going to get washed up. Unfortunately, these guys are in Florida, which is a far more aggressive justice system than it is in California. And right now, these 4 gentlemen are fighting for their lives because the state wants to execute them. And they had a mitigation hearing, and Gathright decided to take the stand. He was the first one. Today was his day. He was the first one to testify, and I wanted to play a little clip of this and get your reaction, Munchie. So this is Mr. Gathright, and he's being questioned by his attorney.
My name's Sean Gathright, SeanGathright. I was born on October 20th, 2005.
Mr. Gathright, you've heard people speak here today on your behalf and yesterday, and I know that you wanted to address the court and the jury. So I would like to ask you what you want the jury to know.
I just want to address the court today, and, you know, I'm not here to dispute anything. I'm just here to be a man and take responsibility and express my feelings about was, you know, this whole situation. You know, that's what I plan on doing.
Okay. And how do you feel? What?
I feel very remorseful, you know. This is a terrible situation. It's been a traumatic experience, you know.
Let me ask you this. So how old were you when you were arrested?
I was 18 years old.
We heard that you had started some college, obviously probably didn't get very far, right?
Right.
What have you done since you've been in jail? Is there programs? Are there things that you can do there?
So, you know, I've gotten into programs. I've also, you know, I grew up, you know, in church and, you know, in a Christian household. So I refocused my, you know, life to Christ. And, you know, I've taken a lot of religious programs. I've read the Bible from cover to cover. I've tried to, you know, share some word, and, you know, we have prayer circles in the jail and stuff like that. I've led a couple, you know, prayer circles, and I've tried to, you know, kids around my age or, you know, younger, you know, since I'm 20 years old now, that when you turn 18, you know, you go to the adult pods and stuff like that. So if I see somebody who I see, you know, has a lot of potential and has a chance to keep them from, you know, basically being able to be corrected at this opportunity and not come back, you know, I try to take them under my wing.
I'll stop it right there on the easy question from his defense attorney. I know what you got to say about the whole Christian thing, Munchie. He found God since he's been incarcerated these last 2 years, and I guess he knew the conviction was coming because the video evidence was overwhelming. And just for those who are unaware of, he was one of the guys holding the rifle, putting it down.
Yeah, shit. Again, that's the only person he could turn to, God, at this point. But he sound like he that's unfortunate, man. He asking for them to spare his life. I hope they spare it. You know what I mean? It seemed like he accepted his life sentence. He already know that's what it's gonna be. He just trying to, you know what I mean? He done got a relationship with God, and he trying to just trying to live life the best he could live it from this point on. But then that's unfortunate though, man. Make decisions young, and shit, you ain't gonna get a second chance to you know, correct it.
Yeah, because he made a very early, severe decision. He's probably barely been an adult. I don't know how many months he was 18, but you don't, if you make such a severe decision at the youngest adult age of 18, there's no fixing that. And at least in the state of Florida, because he is going to get sentenced to life without parole. And he, at minimum, that's the minimum sentence he's going to get, Munchie. Life without parole in the state of Florida.
Yeah, well, hopefully they take his age, the age he did the crime, when the crime took place. I hope they take that into consideration, that he was a kid when he did what he did, and you know.
Now, if this was California, I doubt very much they would have pursued it as a death penalty case, because it's only one victim died. There are some attempted murder victims that they got charged with as well. People that were either in his car or in the vicinity. So they got hit with a couple of attempt murder charges too.
Well, I don't know what they call that in Florida, but you know, here, you know, we call it what, lie in wait.
Oh yeah, lying in wait does.
And if I'm not mistaken, you know, they kind of like they kind of sat on old boy and trailed him all night. You know what I mean?
Yeah, they did that. So that is a little different. California will pursue that lying in wait, and they tracked him through social media. Julio Foolio said he was going to have a party, and here's another way of looking at this. At least they used to look at it like this in California in the 80s and 90s. These guys are gang members. The victim's a gang member. This is what they signed up to do. So as a juror, I'm not going to be that hard on them. He got convicted of murder. All right, 25 to life. You know, but nowadays prosecutors will treat the victim of a gang member as an angel. You know, the victim gang member gets treated as an angel now. You know, nothing about that person comes in court. But I was reading stuff that Julio Foolio was doing to these guys, you know.
Right.
And unfortunately, that side of the story is not heard by the jury.
Yeah, he was top up.
Yeah. So there was a time where jurors were like, all right, he's a gang member. The victim's a gang member. All right, let's just, it erases itself. Give him 20 years, 25 years.
Yeah. So out of the four that's on trial for this, well, got found guilty for this, he the only one decided to get on the stand, speak for himself.
Well, he's the first one. The others, this is happening as we talk.
Okay, in real time.
Yeah, so I don't know if the other three are going to do it. I was looking at the faces of the other three. One of the faces of the three was looking like I can't believe this guy went up there. But, I don't know. I don't know. But imagine if this guy, Mr. Gathray, went up there and told the jury, look, I was in a gang. Julio Foolio's in the gang. He used to bust on us. We busted on them. That's just what happens on the streets. I mean, you could take this a whole nother way. It may work. It may not work. It might backfire on you if you go that route.
Man, that's no, I ain't supposed to be saying this, but that's kind of like my mindset. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like that's something they consciously signed up for.
And jurors used to have that same mindset back in the 80s and 90s. Now, the justice system has programmed jurors to not care what negative things that the victim has done. None of that is relevant. It's what these guys did to the victim. So that's a different way now. I wouldn't say it's new. It's been going on like that for at least 20 years, where the victim his past is protected in many instances, but defense attorneys do a good job at trying to bring victim information in. If the victim, if his autopsy report shows that he was high on 3 drugs, they're going to try to they want the jury to know that, you know.
Yeah, this court system is it's crazy. Hey, cause them DAs is like artists. They paint pictures. You feel me? They like poets, and they word things a certain way, and they know how to get the jury attention to sway in one way or another. Like it'd be crazy.
And there was some evidence that came up about Julio Foolio by some of the gang experts that testified for the prosecution, but I don't think that's going to move these Florida jurors in any way.
Yeah, man.
And you know what else really impacts a trial in the 2020s now, which didn't exist in the 80s, it barely existed in the 90s, to a certain degree, a little bit, but now we're seeing entire crimes on camera. We're seeing it from the beginning to the end. We're seeing the pre-crime. We're seeing what you guys were doing on camera before the crime happened. We are getting footage of you after the crime. We never got so much visual information about a crime until probably these last 5 years, like 5 to 10 years. We are seeing everything from beginning to end, and I think that has a different impact on a jury. They're able to sit back and say, oh wow, he had a rifle in his hand. Oh shoot, he shot all them times. It's different when you get to see it. Those visuals definitely score major points for the government.
And you can't forget about social media.
Social media.
Those is posing with murder weapons.
The combination of social media and being able to present a visualized occurrence of that crime to the jury, you're buried.
Okay, for example, with social media, did nobody from Inglewood snitch on nobody from the Sting team? Draco went to jail for Red Bull unaliving, and they let him go. And he was out here. But guess what? He doing music videos, they flashing guns, and they zoomed in on the serial number of the gun. And they start connecting dots, and you feel me? Like, it's social media, music videos, and you know what I'm saying?
So they were on social media with a murder weapon.
The video, I don't follow his music, but the video may still be on YouTube somewhere. But
so I'm assuming the video was before they killed Red Bull.
I would assume so. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? I mean, people are stupid though. But if you know you got to confirm and you still got that laying around, you an idiot. But so I think that video may have been before that or right after that.
Yeah.
Or something like that, you know what I'm saying?
Well, you got to be dumb to still have a murder weapon in your possession, but I hear about it happening all the time.
Right.
It still happens. It happens far too much. Let me play a little clip of this when the prosecutor starts asking him some questions.
Mr. Gathright, you have led, you would agree with me, an extremely privileged life, haven't you?
Yes, sir.
You would agree with that, correct?
I would.
You've had a loving mother, correct?
Yes, sir.
A loving sister, correct?
Yes, sir.
You've had 2 wonderful grandmothers, correct?
Yes, sir.
You would agree with me, right?
I couldn't deny that.
One of which probably, I'm assuming, sacrificed and paid for you to go to that private school, that preparatory school, correct?
It wasn't paid. It was a magnet program, so I had to apply, and it was a lottery system.
It was a lottery system. Okay, so it was a magnet.
Yes, sir.
All right. She supported you going there, did she not?
Everybody did.
Gave
Yes, sir.
you open use of her house, welcomed you, treated you, and parented you, basically, didn't she?
Yes, sir.
Took care of you when your parents were deployed, correct?
Yes, sir. At the time, I was living with my grandmother. Both of my parents had been either retired or out of the military. I was just living there more so. I needed a change of scenery, and my relationship with my father wasn't sustainable.
Okay. This is when you're in Oxford with your grandmother.
Yes, sir.
The nice lady we saw earlier came in here.
Yes, sir.
The one that has supported you and spoke so lovingly about you, correct?
Yes, sir.
And so you went to this preparatory school, and whether you got in there through a lottery or not, you would agree with me, not everybody gets to go to a school like that, correct?
The lottery school, the magnet school I went to was in middle school when I was living in Jacksonville. The school I went to in Oxford, it was just a public high school.
A public high school.
Yes,
Okay,
sir.
my mistake. So you went to that preparatory school in Jacksonville.
Yes, sir.
But again, that school was not something that every kid gets to go to, right?
No, sir.
Not every kid gets to have a counselor and a role model like Mr. Edwards, correct?
No, sir. I was very blessed.
And not many children get to fly in planes with their stepfather, correct?
No, sir.
And fly around in Asia and get to see islands off the coast of Okinawa, correct?
No, sir. I was
And go on
very
camp-
blessed.
You are very blessed, aren't you?
Yes, sir.
And not every kid gets to go to Scotland, right?
No, sir.
Or Ireland,
No, sir.
or Paris,
No, sir.
or London,
No, sir.
or Spain.
No, sir.
Cape Town or Johannesburg, or both in South Africa?
Cape Town.
Cape Town, beautiful city, right?
Yeah.
You got to go experience that when you were growing up, correct?
I did.
Because you had such loving people around you supporting you, correct?
Yes, sir.
In fact, your grandmother went with you on that trip, did she not? Or not on that one, but on the ones to
several
Europe,
trips.
correct?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
And we heard you got to meet up with your sister in one of those trips, correct?
I did. I had the privilege.
So you always had someone there taking care of you, and you always had good, strong male role models, including people at your grandmother's church and your stepfather, Mr. Harrington, correct?
I had male role models in my life growing up, but in my more formative years, more so 16 to 18, I didn't. I did not have a relationship with my father, and the male role models that came and testified, they were present but not intimately as whenever I was younger, maybe middle school years. But when I turned around 16 to 18, it was the females that actually had that caregiving and, you know, nurturing relationship with me. But
Thank you for clarifying that. I appreciate it.
yes,
So,
sir. Towards the more recent years, I didn't have that one-on-one and very close relationship with, you know, those male role models in my life. You know, you heard my stepfather say, you know, after the divorce.
I did hear that, Mr. Chance. Let me stop you,
Mr.
okay,
Gathright.
and we'll go back to my question. I'm sorry?
Mr. Gathright.
I'm sorry, I keep calling you that, Mr. Gathright. Let me go back to what you said earlier. Between 16 and 18, you didn't have a male role model? Is that what you're telling the jury?
I'm not saying I didn't have any male role models, but day to day, you know, young men need strong.
That's not what I
influence.
asked. I asked if you had a male role model between 16 and 18.
I had a figure that I could go to, but not intimately.
Mr. Edwards, right?
Yes, sir.
He had stayed in contact with you even when you graduated into high school, correct?
Yes, sir. We definitely maintained a relationship, but
And he
it
seemed
wasn't.
to be pretty enthusiastic about that, right?
Yes, sir.
In
Yes.
fact, you went on a cruise with him at some point, did you not?
Yeah, when I was younger, yes. We had a
Okay.
very close relationship.
And then from what you're saying, if I understand it right, the females, I'm assuming you're talking about your grandmothers and your mom stepped into the gap?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. It was grandmother's, mother, sister.
So let me see if I got this right. When you were being brought up,
I don't like that, bro.
Well, this is what happens in death penalty cases during a mitigation hearing like this. The defense wants to bring up all the shortcomings of the defendant's life, and it usually works. He didn't have a dad. He was poor. He never been anywhere. So what this prosecutor is doing, he realizes, wow, this guy Gathwaite has he doesn't have any of that. In fact, this guy's been to Europe. He's traveled the world. He's got a great family. So he's trying to counter the typical argument that the defense would present to a jury in a death penalty mitigation hearing.
Okay, but for a role model to be any kind of influence, he will have to be not keeping in contact you day to day. So what do you mean, bro? Like, man, that DA is I didn't like that right there, bro.
Yeah, because he's the DA saying, well, look, you didn't have a dad every day. You didn't have a regular male role, but there was someone there you could call if you needed to call somebody, like a part-time male role model.
Yeah, all right, but hey, man, they need to, bro. Well, these words, I guess stuff could be subjective or whatever, but whatever.
Yeah, man, I don't know how strict these Florida juries are, but I can tell you this, Munchie, Florida led the nation in executions in 2025, and Texas was number 2. So Florida ain't playing.
Yeah, man. It don't sound like he up there about to weep and cry. You know what I'm saying? He's staying strong with it, and it just sound like he matured over these 2 years he been locked up.
Well, there was a part when his male role model was testifying as a character witness, and he put his head down on the table, and he did start crying. You couldn't see it, but then someone
He did or the male role model.
No, he did.
Okay.
Gathwaite cried on the table, the defense table. He put his head down on the defense table, started crying. They handed him a tissue, and he started, drying his face. So that was a moment of weakness for him. It got to him. I forget what the male role model was saying, but I don't know if he was crying out of like saying like, "Oh man, I'm done," or if something that the male role model said touched him. But he definitely does not appear like he was the dude with the rifle in his hand busting on Julio at all. At all. And I could counter that with watching these 3 guys in court. This was many years ago, 1997. These 3 Bloods
I already know what you're talking about.
were on trial for the Halloween shooting in Pasadena in 1997. And these 3 Bloods, they had a camera in the courtroom, and these 3 Bloods were getting sentenced by the court. The judge was like, I'm sentencing you. The judge was like, because of the heinous actions and the horrific nature of this crime and how brutal it was. And the defendant dude said,
laughing.
no, he said, look, Your Honor, can you cut all the semantics and just sentence me?
Right.
There was absolutely no weakness shown. Now, of course, this is just a facade. We don't know what's going on inside. But the way those brothers took their death sentence was way different from the way Gathwaite is right now.
I don't believe that was a facade. He accepted his fate. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, man, those guys are still sitting on death row right now, and I wonder how they would feel now. Asking them about cutting off the judge during your sentencing, telling the judge cut the semantics, just get to it. Judges like to give speeches. They love to talk because look, during the whole trial, the judge is barely saying anything. So this is the opportunity where the judge gets to really express how he feels after you were convicted. So,
man, I'm about to do the rest of my life in jail. Maybe get sentenced to death. I don't want to hear your speech. What good is your speech gonna do for me moving forward?
Yeah.
You could save that. I feel him.
Well, yeah, I guess at that point, you're getting sentenced to death. There's nothing else. There's no worse punishment. Cut the judge off if you
You
want.
think my last words leaving out this room? I want to hear from you. I want to look back at my family. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like whatever.
I guess some would say that they kept the gangster to the end. You know, but where are they at now? How do they feel now? Now that that's been 29 years ago,
Right.
when they got sentenced, those three brothers from Pasadena. I guarantee you, Munchie, they are all singing a different tune. You know, being behind them walls 3 decades for a murder that happened in '97, and the victim, they said the kid was from Raymond. I don't know if he was, or they were trying to kill a Raymond. It was a mess because they put a young picture of that kid in the newspaper, and he looked so innocent.
That ain't right.
I know they do this all the time. They find the young, like they did it with Trayvon Martin too, though. When George Zimmerman killed Trayvon Martin, the picture they put of Trayvon Martin out there was a little boy picture of Trayvon Martin, not the 6'3" tall Trayvon Martin. You know, they put the little boy picture of Trayvon Martin out there. But I get it. You know, everything is PR, man. Everything is a narrative that we got to put out there. But no, I would love to reach out to those three brothers just to hear, what they've been going through for the last 30 years.
If you reached out, I believe they'll reach back.
Yeah, I know a couple people that's on that yard with them right now. But it's just a completely different demeanor that they had in court. All three of them was just like, F it, whatever. One of them was actually laughing and giggling.
I remember somebody sitting back laughing.
Yeah, there was a guy that actually he looked like Mike Tyson. That was the one that was laughing and giggling. But man, this is to see this brother right here. It's like he's squirming. He's just like he's fighting for his life. He's trying to answer the questions right. He's trying to be the perfect murder convict in front of this jury, just so that he doesn't get the death sentence.
Man, that DA is an idiot, man. Somebody that you could call that's you in contact with, don't make that person a role model, bro. You went to law school, brother. You know what role model mean?
Hey, that prosecutor is doing his job, man. That's just what it is. And everybody should know that if you ever find yourself in this predicament, you're going to have a prosecutor doing this same thing in front of a judge, and it's going to be perfectly okay. No, the judge is not going to say, Mr. Prosecutor, oh, no. That's not a good question. He didn't have no daddy. No, that's not a cool question. No, they're going to let them do their thing.
If you listen to the very end of my very first interview with Alex Alonso, I said I ain't trying to be a role model, but I could be an example on what not to do. You know what I'm saying? Don't, you know what I'm saying? Just because you got somebody number that's a relative and is men around, don't make that person a role model, bro. And that lawyer know that.
Yeah, well, that prosecutor definitely wants to send these guys to death row.
I wish I could assist his lawyer with this, you know what I'm saying? Hey, because for one, man, okay, these people, they call away, but it's nobody in close proximity. No immediate role model, and he's raised by women. So if it's only women in the house, who else he go look to? Who else he go, you know what I mean? Iron sharpen iron, and men build men, and like you go hang with your peers and learn from each other and bounce off each other. So like I would have ate that dude up. I would have ate that lawyer up.
Yeah, but this is not. Oh, you mean if you were sitting there answering those questions?
Right.
Yeah, but you would have got cut off. You would have got. They would have said, just answer the question, yes or no. Can you tell he was trying to cut him off from? He was giving a little narrative.
A rep cut off.
Yeah. So they don't allow you to do what you would do to counter his question. You just got to answer. Just like I don't know if you saw the testimony of the chef that was claiming that Stephon Diggs assaulted her, but this chick couldn't answer any question directly. The judge had to say, "Look, lady, answer the lawyer's questions." Yes,
I need
or no.
to find that. I need to find that.
Oh, that was great. The cross examination of Mila Adams was a work of art. Stephon Diggs' lawyer was a work of art. That's all it took. And it was not guilty. Once I saw that, it was not guilty. And then she said, before we wrap this up, we're done with Mr. Gathray. But she testified, I got smacked by Stephon Diggs. Which hand did he use? He used his right hand. Where did he hit you? How did he do it? Open hand. Where did it hit you on your face? On my right side. And then I said right there, wait, if he hit you with an open hand with his right
be on
hand, it
your
would hit the left
left
side. But she's holding her right side of her face up. I was like, okay, maybe she's
She could have got confused.
Yeah.
Because her right is his right.
Yeah. So I said maybe she got confused. But then did you take any pictures of these injuries? No. How about the neck injuries? No. Well, you had your camera right there, didn't you? You have a cell phone, don't you? But you didn't take any pictures of these injuries, these bruises. Oh man, this woman is a pathological. If this woman was on social media, Munchie, the chef Mila Adams, I wouldn't trust nothing she says.
Hey man, so let me get this right. He was boning the chef, right?
Yeah, he did hit the chef.
Man, come on, man. We gotta do better.
She was cute though.
Yeah, I bet, man. hey, but the thing is, like, if I had like a you know what I'm saying, a maid or a housekeeper, she would be like a Florence from the Jeffersons type woman.
No, that's Stephon Diggs has a different approach. All the women that work for him are attractive.
Nah,
and he's having sex with all of them.
I don't need that. See, look what happened with Arnold Schwarzenegger. He got the maid pregnant.
Yeah, well, Stephon's not a family guy. Arnold was trying to be that family guy.
Okay, look at Smokey Robinson. He had all them lawsuits on him. All the housekeeping people was complaining about him. Hey man, look, I want me an old Florence from the Jeffersons. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, Stephon needs to reevaluate his hiring practices and be less horny.
Right.
Look how much trouble it got him. He's in his trial because this chick lied. She should be charged with perjury. They should charge her with a crime. But
people never get charged with perjury.
very rarely.
Very rarely. Yeah. What's the percentage that people get up there and lie, bold-faced lie, or get cars to lie and then have to face a consequence? What?
I've only seen it
2%.
I've seen it one time. I seen these two LAPD officers get charged with perjury one time. I was like, wow, I've never seen this happen before. And it was on the spot. It was on the spot, sitting in court. It wasn't even expected. And I was like, wow. And they lost their jobs. I think one of them got acquitted. One was found guilty. All right, man. Where can the people tap in with Munchie be the mayor?
MB_THA mayor. That's on Twitter and Instagram. And then, Morals Over Money TV on YouTube. I'm doing it up.
There you go, people. Thanks for tapping in with StreetTV. Thanks for following the StraightPoliticking podcast. For those who want to get real, honest, and true information. And we out.